What's up, YouTube? This is Furic, and welcome to a special edition of Middle-Aged and Mediocre. Today I'm going to be playing a little bit of the pre-alpha Crowfall. It's their Big World 4.0 pre-alpha test. So let's see if I can get back in here. I'm playing the Templar, and I've managed to craft my starting gear. You come into the world Terminator style, no gear, no weapons. All you have is this little spirit axe that I'll show you here in a second, and you've got to gear yourself up through the basic crafting chains, and then you can go out and PvP. So when you come in, all you have access to is a spirit axe. I'll show you. It's this rune this here. It never goes away. You always have it, and it's basically how you start the process. Everything kind of chains off of wood. So let's see. I'm just going to use my axe here on this ash tree. It's level 4. I don't know how much I'm going to get out of it, but so if you get once you get 3 wood, you can combine those and get a rune hammer, which lets you then harvest rock. And then you can use wood and rock to get a pick, which lets you do ore, and then you can use all 3 of those to make a knife, which lets you harvest animal skins. And in the same way, you can use those materials to craft basic weapons. So wood and rock, I think, make your sword, and then a combination of 3 things will make your basic armor kit. So I'll show you a little bit of the crafting here in just a second. At least what the menu looks like. Okay, let's just grab that. And then we'll also look at the Templar abilities. I'm not super familiar with Templar abilities. I just kind of, as a first hour, I guess, or less, really, with Templar. So, okay, let's just look at this here. So if you go to harvesting tools, so wood, and wood, stone, or ore, you combine one of each of those, and it will create one of the runestone harvesting tools. So 3 woods will give us like I said, will give us the hammer, which will let us then harvest cobblestone or any other rock. So we'll do that here, and then once you get rock, like I said, you can go on to do ore, and then once you have ore, obviously you can get animals. I don't think there's any animals in this test, so the only place to get hides that I've seen anyways has been out of chests, which will spawn randomly, like in these manor houses and stuff like that sometimes. So let's just go check this thing out, see if we have any hide. Oh, we got a chest. Maybe there'll be some goodies in here. Okay, yep, so we got a hide and an apple. Okay, so let's look at the so you can see I crafted my starting set of gear here. I did that yesterday, and let's look at the powers. So let's go in the building so I'm not just standing open in case someone wants to come by and try to gank me. Okay, so your basic ability, which is this left click button, it's if you hit 3 consecutive shots in a row, the final one is this great swing. Actually, let's see, great swing 3. So one, I think 1 and 2. So each one does a little bit more damage. So Great Swing 1 is 480 to 720 and 60% weapon damage. Then you have Great Swing 2, which does a little bit more, and then Great Swing 3 does even more, and it gives you a point of righteousness. And so righteousness is, let's see if I'll show you here. You can see it down on the left. Let me go. Well, it's here. You can't really see it because this thing is blocking it. But the sword and those 5 little combo points. So as you build righteousness, you can kind of unload those, sort of like a rogue combo point system in WoW, and it powers other abilities basically. Then this ability, your right click, is basically a parry, and it blocks a lot of different. It makes you immune to crowd control, and when you get hit, it allows you to basically righteous parry back at them. It triggers another ability. So at some point, I think they're gonna combine righteous parry and righteous stand onto the same thing. You can righteous parry on your own. That's something I don't know exactly what they plan on doing, but somehow they're going to tie those things together and they'll be on the same key. So here you go. So number 1 ability is basically a distance closer. You leap, and when you strike the enemy, they have a little stun and does a lot of damage. It's like a 15-second cooldown or something like that. Number 2 is reproach. So you swing at multiple enemies, you hit for 540 to 810. And then you can do the next ability. So this is your first true combo. Then you have Castigate, which is the next part of the chain. And you slash multiple enemies for 610 and 76% weapon damage. And then you have kind of a branch here where you can either Radiant Sweep, which is a knockdown, or you can Righteous Smash, which is a spin with an overhead chop hitting multiple enemies. And it generates righteousness for every hit. So that's a nice kind of a builder combo, it looks like. And I want to say this Radiant Sweep is also a bleed, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Number 3 is the Judgment. So you strike mercilessly, inflicting a lot of damage, and enemies under 35% health are critically hit for even more. And then Judgment leads into Execute. So this is a slash attack that does even more damage. And again, enemies under 35% health are critically hit. So when someone's low, this is sort of like the Warrior Execute ability from WoW. And it really punishes people with low health. So let's see, 4. And I guess because it has these little circles here, they probably cost righteous points, I guess, for those two. Yeah, use a point to start. I'm guessing that's what that means. We'll have to see. Okay, so then we have Judgment. Okay, we did Judgment and Divine Light. So this is like a group heal and AoE damage combined. So it creates an AoE around you, and so you generate righteousness for each enemy standing within the field for every 4 seconds. Enemies within the field periodically suffer damage, and allies, and then when they are damaged, allies and you are healed for a lot of damage as well. So basically, it generates your combo points. It damages the enemy and heals you and your allies when it damages the enemy. So that's a pretty good ability. Cost 1 righteousness. Okay, that's for the cost here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Maybe these have a chance to build righteousness. I don't know. Okay, so then you have this. Number 5 is Divine Light. No. Devotion. And this is just a heal. Recite a benediction, healing group members and you based on the damage you inflict, and revealing sin within enemies attacked for 15 seconds. So this would be good for if you have a confessor, because confessor damage is based on sin. So I guess as you attack, you're stacking sin on them, your confessor's doing more damage, and you're healing your party for some amount of the damage that you do. That's pretty nice. And then finally, 6th ability is the Holy Warrior, and this is sort of like I guess this is the signature Templar attack or ability. You turn bright blue and glow, and all your damage is holy damage, and I think you mitigate damage as well. Your health goes up. And it uses Zealotry, which maybe, I don't know what that is really. I have to look. Probably these pips down here, maybe. I really don't know. I think they're starting to use like some unique resources for different classes, and Zealotry must be one for Templars. So, and then lastly we have the C ability, which is Brilliance, and this is a really good CC. you shine bright, you become invulnerable for a moment or whatever, your maximum health goes up for 20 seconds, and everyone around you is blinded and they take damage. And blind's a pretty powerful CC in this game because you have to aim to hit anything. So it's not like you can still do things. When you're blind, you just swing around aimlessly, you can't see. So it is a pretty debilitating CC in Crowfall. Okay, so those are the abilities. I will see if I can find someone to attack. I've put stuff in the Spirit Bank. So this is the Spirit Bank. Depending on the rules of the campaign, the access to the Spirit Bank will be more or less. I guess probably depending on what band you're in. So the more Care Bear bands probably have more access to the Spirit Bank in more places, where the Dregs, you have to go, to a specific location, and it's probably an ordeal to get there, and people will be camping you and trying to kill you because they know you're going to have stuff. But basically it allows you to put stuff away to later be taken out of the campaign world to your Eternal Kingdoms or another campaign based on the rules of that campaign. Probably some victory condition will determine how much you can or cannot take of what's in the Spirit Bank. For the purpose of this test, it's just a safe place to put your crap. So it can't be looted. So let's just go ahead and just throw the rest of this crap in the Spirit Bank. Yes, yes, yes. No, we'll leave that. And then yes. Okay. If I can find someone to fight here in the next few minutes, I will. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. At least it gives you an idea of what's going on in the pre-alpha test for Crowfall, and it's fun, man. Like, the servers can be an issue. You can see the message latency jumping around. I guess that kind of happens during the kind of peak play times on these tests during the weekend. But last night it was really good. The servers are super stable, but it was later, so there's probably less overall traffic. The first time I was playing Crowfall was in the Hunger Dome, and it was a very targeted test. You would play for an hour or two, and it was a few times a week, or 3 times in 1 week, and then nothing for 2 weeks. And they were testing combat, really, and it was kind of cool. You were thrown into what it really was like the Hunger Dome. Or no, whatever that thing is called. Yeah, the Hunger Dome, or not Hunger Dome. I'm an idiot. The Hunger Games, when they go into the dome thing, and you have the big fight at the cornucopia. Instead of that, you have a big keep, and it's full of loot, and everyone rushes there, and there's a big bloodbath at the keep, trying to be the first people to get the gear and get looted up with the epic stuff. Or you can kind of hang back and try to pick people off and hide and run from fights, and then try to just jump everyone at the end. It was kind of an interesting dynamic of how you could tactically and strategically decide to play that one. And then the hunger would close in and force everyone into a smaller and smaller space. So at some point you did have to fight. And you would win, and the game would be over, then the next game would start. It was fun, and there's a lot of action because you were forced into fighting. Then the next test was Siege Perilous, and it was, I guess, paying homage to the UO server, Siege Perilous, and it was pretty cool. And it was testing the siege mechanics and more combat, and it was fun. But my machine at the time just really could not handle Siege Perilous. It was tough. I would get a little bit going, and then my frame rates would drop to like 4 frames per second. And I did my best, but I couldn't really make it work. And now I've upgraded a little bit of stuff, so it's definitely playable for me now. And Big World has been fun, and this is just really a test of, I guess, skills and crafting and kind of the import and export mechanics, I guess, I would imagine. Basically, you have a bunch of people running around trying to harvest naked, and you have other people running around with gear killing them. It's very much like UO. So it's kind of fun, I guess, but it can be tough to find people. But anyways, if you want to see more, let me know. I wish you luck in your struggles to come, and as always, I feel your pain. So as soon as I signed off, I managed to find somebody. It was a little ranger running around trying to harvest, and I jumped her and killed her. So I'm gonna add that to the tail end of this. Just a little bonus for you guys to see. Uh, some very unskilled and opportunistic PKing. So, anyways, I'm out.